The first question asks, does your culture value a particular style of persuasion? Do your own preferred ways of persuading others reflect your culture's style of persuasion? And I think the style of persuasion that my culture uses is the quasi-logical style, just like the book suggests for the Western societies. The quasi-logical style was the one that the objective is to use a first-hand experience or knowledge to persuade. Everyone in our culture is in love with the idea of someone overcoming tragedy, rising up from nothing and becoming something great. LeBron James, for example, was from a poor little city in California and is now a millionaire in the NBA. Justin Bieber was a little Canadian boy that was basically invisible and went on to be one of the most well-known celebrities on the face of the planet. Anyone with a past uses their experience to inspire people and change the outcome of what would have been. Another example is Plato. He used his um, experiences in life to persuade Aristotle's thinking. In our culture finds it most logical to make a decision if they already know the outcome. If LeBron did it, then so can I. If Justin Bieber's dreams came true, then so can mine. LeBron and Bieber are, for all intents and purposes, persuading people to follow their dreams and not to give up. Another more relatable example can be used for NCU students. I would say to one of my friends, have you taken BTH 251? And my friend would say, yes, I really enjoyed the professor and the material. I'd be more likely to take the class knowing that my friend's testimony of the class was successful. The quasi-logical style of persuasion is also the one I can most relate to. I don't know why, but if someone has already made it through a given scenario, I always feel more comfortable in making my decision. Sort of a sense of security is given to me. Like the cultural connection on page 227, the American way of thinking of things is to ask questions on top of more questions and then go out and do the experience. That is the way we learn, and that is the way we persuade. The second question asks, what does silence communicate to you? How is your culture's use of silence connected to Hall's cultural patterns of low and high context? To me, silence can indicate a variety of different things. I feel like most people use silence when they don't know what to say. They stay quiet until they can find adequate words to describe what they're thinking. When I use silence, it isn't because I don't have words to say what I want to say. 99% of the time, my silence is to avoid saying something that I know would hurt someone or me later on down the line. Silence can also be used in a way of respect. For the first part of our life, it's ingrained in us to be silent while our elders or people in charge are talking. In school, in church, at a public event, or in movies, in all these situations, silence is golden. One of my favorite quotes is from Abraham Lincoln. He said, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt. The cultural connection on page 229 used silence as a way to communicate their feelings and emotions, in that case, anxiousness. In the beginning of the story, the family was completely silent in anticipation of the coming actions. I don't think silence can be defined by just one meaning, but depending on the culture and depending on the person, silence can insinuate lots of different things. When relating the use of silence as a way of respect, like I said, when we were silent to our elders, I think that is a type of high contextual cultural pattern. There is no description in the act of being silent, but in the act itself communicates to the other person that they are fully attentive to what is being said. If, for example, a person was talking to a big group of people and there was another person in the audience who was talking on the phone or singing a song or doing anything that might make a lot of noise, then that would be communicating that they could care less about the public speaker's opinion. Members of some cultures, the third question is, members of some cultures will invariably say yes, even though, given the situation, their true feelings, the answer is most likely no. Why do you think this is? What purpose might it serve, given what we have learned about cultures, assumptions, and value frameworks? I think the reason members of a culture are more apt to not go with their true feelings is because they don't want to seem unordinary or portrayed in a negative manner. Majority rules is always a safe route. In our current day, if person A asks person B if they are against same-sex marriage, then person B could either say they're for it or they're against it. No matter what the person actually believes, it is more socially acceptable to say that they are pro same-sex marriage. If person B were to say that they were against, then person B would automatically be labeled as closed-minded and judgmental. The reason that person B goes against what he or she thinks to answer the opposite is because they are afraid. Nobody wants to be put in a negative light, and most will likely set aside their personal beliefs in order not to cause conflict. Our cultural assumptions and value framework are consistently going to be changing. From 50 years ago, values, morals, and beliefs are vastly different from what they are now. And in 50 more years, I can almost guarantee you that our values, morals, and beliefs will once again be completely different. But our current state is that culture is to be accepting of everyone. The coexist bumper sticker that everybody has nowadays always comes to my mind. Sort of a don't worry about anyone but yourself type of mindset. And like the little saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. In 50 years, the same occurrence of going with the majority rule will probably still be in play, regardless of the belief in question. Right now, it is popular belief that same-sex marriage is acceptable. Therefore, almost all people will say they are pro same-sex marriage. The cultural connection on page 232, which I actually thought was really funny, is a prime example of what you're supposed to say as opposed to what you are actually thinking. Just like the connection suggested, the man should have told the woman what every girl wants to hear from a long-term relationship: "I love you." Instead, the man went with his feelings of "I think I love you" and was kicked to the curb.